Hello everyone, good morning. Welcome to ISC Geography Class 11. Today we will start a new chapter, Chapter 9, Exogenous Processes and Associated Landforms. Today we will study from page number 153 to page number 159. First of all, let us go through the objectives of the chapter. In this chapter, we will study gradation, degradation, aggradation, weathering, types of weathering, difference between physical and chemical weathering, and agents of gradation. Now let us go through the technical terms which are related to today's topic. The first term is exogenous process. The processes which occur on Earth's surface due to the influence of exogenetic forces like river, wind, waves, etc. are known as exogenic processes or exogenic geomorphic processes. Weathering. The breaking down or dissolving of rocks and minerals on the surface of the earth is termed as weathering. Denudation. Denudation involves the processes that causes the wearing away of the earth's surface by moving water, ice, wind, waves, leading to a reduction in the elevation and in relief of landforms and landscapes. Gradation. Gradation is a process of removing unevenness of the surface of the land and making it leveled land. Agents of gradation are running water, wind, glacier, waves, and underground water. Degradation. The lowering of a fluvial surface such as a stream bed or floodplain through erosional processes. Aggradation. Aggradation or alluviation is the term used in geology for the increase in land elevation, typically in a river system due to the deposition of sediment. Erosion. Erosion is a geological process in which the earth's materials are worn away and transported by natural forces such as wind or water. Physical or mechanical weathering. The process in which rock is broken through the force of another substance on the rock such as ice, running water, wind or plant growth. Chemical weathering. Chemical weathering is caused by rainwater reacting with the mineral grains in rocks to form a new mineral and soluble salt. These reactions occur particularly when the water is slightly acidic. Biological weathering. Biological weathering is weathering caused by plants and animals. Plants and animals release acid-forming chemicals that cause weathering and also contribute to the breaking down of rocks and landforms. Insolation. Insolation is a solar radiation received in the Earth's atmosphere or at its surface. Block disintegration. The splitting of rocks along the joints into blocks is called block disintegration. Block disintegration happens when the rocks split along the joints, forming large rectangular shaped blocks. Granular disintegration. A form of weathering where the grains of a rock become loosened and fall out due to repeated heating and cooling as a result of temperature changes. Talus or scree. An outward sloping and accumulated heap of mass of rock fragments of any size or shape, usually they are coarse and angular, derived from and lying at the base of a cliff or very steep rocky slope and formed chiefly by gravitational falling, rolling or sliding of rock particles. Exfoliation. Separation of successive thin shells or layers from massive rocks such as granite or basalt. It is common in regions that have moderate rainfall. The thickness of individual sheet or plate may be from a few millimeters to a few meters. Frost. Frost is a thin layer of ice on a solid surface like leaves or rocks which forms from water vapor in an above freezing atmospheric temperature when it come in contact with a solid surface whose temperature is below freezing point, and resulting in a phase change from water vapor, that is the gaseous form, to ice, means to solid form, as the water vapor reaches the freezing point. Freeze thaw. Freeze thaw occurs when water continually seeps into cracks, freezes and expands, eventually breaking the rock apart. Oxidation. Oxidation occurs when oxygen reacts with minerals such as calcium and magnesium to form iron oxide. Iron oxide is reddish brown in color and causes the decomposition of rocks. Carbonation. Carbonation occurs when carbon dioxide from moisture in the air reacts with carbonate minerals found in the rock. This creates carbonic acid which breaks down the rocks. Hydration. Hydration occurs when water is absorbed by minerals in the rock, creating crystals which exert pressure on the surrounding rock, eventually causing it to crumble down. Solution. Solution is a process in which soluble minerals are removed when they come in contact with water. Now children, let us start the chapter. Exogenous processes on the earth. Exogenous processes are those processes which act on the surface of the earth and give birth to various landforms. These include the processes of weathering and denudation and are performed by rivers, glaciers, wind, underground water and sea waves. These forces are constantly working to level the surface of the earth. The exogenous forces derive their energy from the sun. First of all, we'll discuss gradation. Now let us see what is gradation and how it brings changes on the earth's surface. Gradation is a process of removing unevenness of land surface and making it level. We can say that gradation is a process of bringing the earth's surface to a common level. Rivers, glaciers, wind, underground water and sea waves are always busy in eroding the highlands and depositing the raw materials in the lowland. In this way, the tectonic or internal forces level up and external forces level down the earth's surface. A surface is called graded only when the erosion and deposition by different agents of change are almost equal. The graded surfaces are always temporary because the moment any parts emerges out of the sea, the erosional process becomes active on that portion. It is clear that gradation is achieved by simultaneous processes of the following two processes: degradation and aggradation. Now let us discuss degradation in detail. Degradation is a general wearing down or erosion of land surface by external forces. The term denudation have been derived from the Latin word denudate, which means to lay bare. It includes the result of weathering, erosion and transportation. Weathering is the process of weakening, breaking up, rotting and disintegration of rocks at Earth's surface. The Earth's surface remain exposed to various elements of weather. These elements of weather like rain, air, heat, frost and cold, etc. wear away the rocks. It involves disintegration and decomposition of rocks where they exist. Therefore, it is a static process. Weathering is important because it leads to soil formation. The disintegrated material does not involve any motion. except the falling down of the material by the force of gravity. It means that the eroded material remain in its own place. It does not move. Weathering is followed by erosion, which is the process of scraping, scratching and grinding of the surface rock. It involves removal or transportation of the weathered rock material from one place to another. It means that weathering is always followed by erosion. The act of erosion is performed by running water, that is river, groundwater, moving ice, wind, waves and the currents of the sea. These agents use eroded materials as cutting tools to carve up and shape the landscape. Erosion is a mobile process, unlike the static process of weathering. It keeps the weathered rock material in motion by picking it up and transporting it. Aggradation. Aggradation is also known as deposition. The material eroded by the process of degradation is deposited in the depressions or lowlands, and these areas rise up. The agents of aggradation are the same as those of the erosion. In other words, each agent has its erosive as well as depositional role in changing the landscape slowly. Now let us see how degradation, aggradation and gradation are interrelated. There is a close relation between degradation, aggradation and gradation. All these three forces act collectively. For example, the carrying capacity of a river is more than its actual load in its mountainous region, and erosion is the main function of the river in the mountainous region. This leads to degradation of the surface area. In contrast to this, the load of the river is much more than its carrying capacity near the sea, and the result is deposition. So it leads to aggradation. It means that the main work of the river in the mountain is to do erosion and transportation, whereas in the deltas its main work is deposition. In the middle course of the river, erosion and deposition are almost equal and is a stage of gradation, means stage of leveling up. In this way, all the three processes are interlinked. Now children, let us discuss weathering in detail. Weathering is a breaking of rocks by static agent of weather, as I told you, like rain, air, heat, frost and cold, etc. In this process, the rocks are disintegrated by physical forces and decomposed by chemical action. It is important to note that wearing does not involve any motion except the falling down of the material by the force of gravity. As I told you that the eroded material remain in their place in weathering. According to B. Sparks, weathering is a mechanical fracturing and chemical decomposition of rocks in situ. In situ here means in the same place where they are formed by natural agents at the surface of the earth. Apart from elements of weather, animals, insects, vegetation and man are constantly breaking the rocks. This is known as biological weathering. In this way, weathering is of the following three types: physical or mechanical weathering, chemical weathering and biological weathering. Now let's discuss physical or mechanical weathering. The disintegration of rocks by mechanical processes is called physical or mechanical weathering. Following are the main agents of physical weathering. First we have insulation. Insolation, I have discussed that it is the amount of heat received by the earth. Weathering by insolation is more prevalent in hot desert areas. This is due to rapid changes in the daily temperature. We already know that desert areas have no cloud cover, it has sandy soil, so during daytime the temperature is very high and at night temperature falls very fast. So the hot deserts of the world have extremes of temperature. So we can say that insolation or extremes of temperature is the main cause of physical or mechanical weathering. The sandy, arid and semi-arid regions are heated intensely during the daytime and lose heat rapidly in the night. Hence, the diurnal range of temperature, that is daily range of temperature, is quite high. This causes expansion of rocks during daytime and contraction at night. The day temperature suddenly rises and rocks expand. At night, the temperature suddenly falls, sometimes close to freezing point, and the rocks contract. This alternate expansion and contraction of rocks leads to tension and creates a series of cracks or joints in the rocks, splitting them into blocks. You can see these cracks in the given picture. This is known as block disintegration. Often rocks are made up of different minerals which expand and contract at different rates. This reduces the rocks to fragments and pieces. Means the rocks break into small pieces. Weathering of rocks in this way is known as granular disintegration. The debris moves down the mountain slope and goes on gathering at its foot as talus or scree. One frequently hears the sound like the shot of gun in the desert area within half an hour of the sunset. These sounds are created by the breaking of rocks. So, the two types of physical weathering we have discussed are block disintegration and granular disintegration. Some rocks are not good conductors of heat. It means that some rocks do not absorb the heat to a greater depth. Consequently, the expansion and contraction is more in the outer layers than the inner ones. The outer layers thus peel off from the main mass of the rock in the form of concentric shells. So here you can see that the rocks are peeled off in the form of concentric shells or layers. This is just like peeling off layers of an onion. This process is known as exfoliation or onion peeling. Exfoliation or onion peeling mainly occurs in arid region. The changes in the temperature during summer and winter in the case of arid region during day and night causes expansion and contraction in the rock surfaces. This continuous expansion and contraction of the rocks makes the outer shell weak. This causes the rocks to break up or peel off. Next is frost. Frost is a very active agent of weathering in the cold climates of high altitude and high latitude areas, means the areas near the poles. We can say that frost is most common agent of weathering in the temperate regions. When water enters the rocks and turns into ice, the volume increases. During the day, the ice thaws and the water enters deep into the rocks. When temperature drops during night, the water again freezes, widening the cracks. This repeated freezing and thawing result in breaking up of rocks. The volume of water increases by 9% on freezing. On an average, 9 cubic centimeter of water turns into 10 cubic centimeter of ice. We can say that the volume of ice is more than water. This increase in volume exerts pressure on the rocks. Bursting pressure of about 150 kg on 1 square centimeter is common. The rocks are ruptured and fragments are wedged apart, means the gap increases, the cracks increases in size. Next day, more water can enter the already widened cracks and more pressure can be exerted on the rocks when the water freezes next night. This alternate freezing and melting is known as freeze-thaw. It is necessary that the mercury must oscillate. Oscillate means move around the freezing point for weathering by frost to be effective. Means here we need very low temperature so that water can change into ice. Pressure release. Many igneous and metamorphic rocks crystallizes deep in the interior under the combined influence of high temperature and high pressure. Here we can take the example of the rocks like granite, gneiss, slate, etc. When the rocks above them are eroded away, the rocks are exposed and released from pressure. Due to pressure release, cracks are produced in the rock, leading to this disintegration. Now children will discuss chemical weathering. The decomposition of rocks by chemical action is called chemical weathering. The minerals in the rocks undergo a chemical change by action of air and water. The chemical reactions are rapid in hot and humid climate of the tropical zone. Following are the main processes of chemical weathering. First we have oxidation. The effect of oxygen in the air and water on rocks is called oxidation. The oxygen in the rainwater unites with minerals in the rock, especially with iron compounds. This results in decomposition of rock and it starts crumbling. The color of the rock changes into red, yellow or brown, as we see in the case of rusting of iron. Carbonation. When the carbon dioxide mixed in water affects the rock, it is known as carbonation. This has an acidic effect and dissolves the calcareous rocks such as limestone, marble and gypsum. Calcareous rocks are the rocks which are rich in calcium. The underground water dissolves limestone on a large scale in Yugoslavia. Here we can take the example of the big caves of limestone found in Madhya Pradesh. It is estimated that carbonation lowers the level of limestone areas in wet climate at the rate of 5 cm per 1000 years. Next we have hydration. When the hydrogen in the water dissolves in the rocks, it is known as hydration. There are certain minerals in the rocks which increase their volume and become heavy when they absorb water containing hydrogen. The rocks break due to the increased pressure and their color or such changes. Feldspar is converted into kaolin as a result of hydration. Solution. The rainwater is able to dissolve certain minerals and leach the soil. This is called solution. Here let me tell you that leaching is the process in which the soluble minerals in the soil containing silica are washed away due to high temperature and heavy rainfall. Some minerals such as rock salt and gypsum are removed by the process of solution by water. Now children, let us see what is the difference between physical weathering and chemical weathering. Physical forces disintegrate the rocks, means the rocks break down due to physical weathering, whereas in chemical weathering the rocks are decomposed by chemical action there is not much importance of physical forces, but rocks are chemically changed. Physical weathering is more effective in dry and cool areas, but chemical weathering, it is more effective in the hot and humid areas. The agents of physical weathering are insulation, frost and pressure release. The agents of chemical weathering are oxidation, carbonation, hydration and solution. Even the strong minerals in the rocks are affected by physical weathering. Chemical resistant minerals such as quartz are not much affected by chemical weathering. Rocks are affected to a greater depth by physical weathering, but in chemical weathering, rocks are affected near the surface only. Now we will discuss biological weathering. Biological weathering include the action of animals and insects, vegetation and man. Now let us study that how animals and insects contribute to weathering. There are millions of animals and insects such as dogs, rabbits, rats, jackals, termites, etc., which consume large quantities of rock and soil for making their habitats, means their home, and for extracting food, for getting their food. This weakens the rock and they tend to disintegrate. The burrowing animals such as earthworms, ants, rats, etc. loosens the rocks by bringing rock particles from the lower layers of the earth crust to the surface. Now the other agents can easily remove these rock fragments. The pounding hoofs of running animals like horses also break the rocks. Some animals after death also provide acid and chemicals for decomposition of rocks. When animals go for grazing like cow, buffalo, goat, sheep, they uproot the grasses and mud with their feet, leading to weathering and soil erosion. According to Arthur Holmes, in an average soil, there may be 1,50,000 worms in 1 acre, and in the course of a year, there is 10 to 15 tons of finely comminuted material to the surface. The excretions of many of them provide acid for a gradual decay of rocks. Vegetation. When plants grow, their roots also grow. The roots of the plants penetrate through the cracks made originally by physical disintegration of rocks. These roots, while moving downwards, are able to widen the cracks. Finally, the rocks split apart. In the cities, we can see the plants growing in the cracks of broken pavements. The long and tenacious root fiber of plants work down into the cracks of the rocks. When a plant grows, its roots also grow underground. Even roots of shrubs and trees reach deep into them and dislodge large blocks from the cliffs, from the main rocks. Now let us see how man is responsible for weathering. Quarrying, mining, deforestation and indiscriminate cultivation of land are some of the important actions of man which contribute to weathering of rocks. Human beings have become the most powerful agent of weathering and erosion. Mining activities for extraction of minerals, blasting of hills and mountains by dynamites for road and dam construction, mineral extraction, quarrying for industrial and building raw materials, etc. result in disintegration of rocks. Human beings also increase the rate of weathering on hill slopes by modifying the ground surface through deforestation. This can cause mass movement of broken rock materials down the slope in the form of slides, landslides or debris fall. Here we can take the example of the landslide that occurred in Kedarnath in Uttaranchal in 2013. With this, we complete our today's topic. Hope that you have understood the topic properly. Let us see the objectives we have studied in this chapter. In this chapter, we have studied gradation, degradation, aggradation, weathering, types of weathering, difference between physical and chemical weathering, and agents of gradation. Now it's the time to take the homework. Your homework is to solve exercise 1, 2 and 3 of today's topic. You must see the school link and YouTube link. Read chapter 9 from page 153 to page 158. You have to write the answers of 4 questions in your copy. The questions are: define gradation and show that degradation and aggradation are integral parts of gradation. Question 2, define weathering. Name the agents of weathering. Question 3, differentiate between degradation and aggradation. Physical and chemical weathering, oxidation and carbonation. And question 4, describe biological weathering. We will very soon meet in the next video with a new topic. Till then, take care, study properly. Thank you.